Welcome back, guys. So this is video number 3 of my beginner series to kind of help beginners, people that are thinking about getting into disc golf, or maybe played a couple rounds and are having some issues with what they're doing. This video is actually going to be about the nose up angle. So when you throw a disc, nose up. If you're out on the disc golf course anywhere, you're probably going to hear this from time to time. Either people will accidentally do it, everybody does it, even the pros still do it. Every once in a while they'll throw it. So what's the telltale sign of throwing nose up? So if you throw your disc nose up and you are right-handed backhanded, just the opposite if you're left-handed, what's going to happen is your disc is going to shoot up into the air really high, and then it's going to crash back down to the left if you're right-handed. Left-handed, it's going to do the same thing, but instead it's going to crash hard to the right. Now, putters and mid-ranges or slower mid-ranges are typically going to hide this nose-up angle a little bit, especially putters, because they have a little bit thicker rim, so they're a little less temperamental the way you throw them, which is why they tell you to start out by only playing with putters or mid-ranges. So the wider rim and the glide on the disc is still going to get you that distance even if you do throw it nose up. Now, where you're really going to run into issues with nose-up angle is with a fairway driver or a distance driver. And the reason why is because they're a lot more temperamental. The rims are a lot smaller. So when you throw it nose up, if I'm throwing this way and I'm releasing, this is a nose up angle. You can see the bottom of the rim here. So what happens is when that rim is exposed to the air is going to hit the bottom side of the disc, drag down to the rim, and all that's going to stop the disc. So it's not going to go very far. It's going to go straight up into the air, and it's going to crash hard because of that fade of a distance driver or a fairway driver. So how to fix this? It's still pretty simple, just like the rounding issue. If you're new and you haven't cemented it into your technique, your form, it's still pretty easy to fix. And there's two things that you need to fix this. So if my basket is in this direction and I have my plant foot down, again, go to the end of your tee pad, do standstill shots here to kind of get the muscle memory down. At the end of my tee pad, my plant foot is down and my toes are down. I've reached back. Now, the first tip here is to always keep the elbow up high. Now, not too high, okay? Because if you pull through too high, you're gonna throw your shot up. Still could be nose up, but that's a different kind of shot if you're just trying to throw it straight and far, right? So when you reach back, keep that elbow high, okay? And you can already see that the disc nose right here, this is the part that's going to be going forward when I release that disc. So you can see that keeping my elbow nice and high and not dropping it down. So when I drop it down, that disc automatically comes up. So this is the nose. So when I release it, it's going to be on that nose up angle, as you can see. So make sure that you're keeping you're doing your power pocket, your 90-degree angle, what we've talked about in just about every video so far. You're keeping your elbow nice and high. The disc is coming right below your pecs. Depending on the person, how long your arms are, it's going to be different for you, but it should always be between your belly button and right below your pecs. So as I pull through, my elbow is not dropping down. It's kind of like knocking down a door. If you're trying to knock down, a piece of wood, that power comes through with the elbow being up high. If you think about it, you go up and you hit a door and your elbow's down, this is all you're gonna do, right? So as you come through, keep that elbow nice and high, okay? Tip number 2 is in the backhanded throw, unlike the forehanded throw, you're going to want to keep your wrist locked, right? So in the forehand, you get your distance and the spin of the disc by whipping the disc with your hand in your elbow, right? You get your power from your hips and your shoulder. Where in the backhanded throw, you want to keep your wrist locked. You don't want to move it around. By that, I mean when you go back, and you'll see Chris Dickerson, I see him do this. He'll walk onto the tee pad, and his disc, he'll go like this with his disc. So if you've ever seen Dickerson play, he'll go like this. His wrist is locked in the down position. Okay, it's not up like this, it's not way up, it's locked in the down position. So as I'm going to throw, do my reach back, watching my elbow, making sure it's coming through, I'm going to lock my wrist in the down. This should be flat. It shouldn't be a bump, and it shouldn't, your fingernail should not be pointing towards you. You shouldn't see the top of your fingernail when you're throwing. Your wrist should be down, okay? So as you come through with your wrist down and locked, you come through and your elbow's up high. Now you can see what the disc is doing, right? This is the nose. So this is gonna be going in that direction. So the nose is down. And as I come through to release, you can now see that disc is now nose down. That's how you're gonna keep the nose down. But Kyle, isn't that just gonna go straight into the ground because it's nose down? No, that's not what's gonna happen. So discs are kind of like helicopter blades when they spin. So when your arm goes out and you spin that disc, what happens is the spin is what creates lift. It gets underneath that disc and it lifts it up, right? And that will lift the disc up into the air, even though it looks like it's gonna go straight into the ground. And there are still a lot of people that throw with the nose up, and they've kind of worked their form around it, which is what you would most commonly look for in like an air bounce, which sometimes can be helpful and sometimes it won't be helpful. And the way you'll be able to tell this is when somebody throws their disc, as soon as they release it, it'll look like they're throwing it down and it will drop and then it'll pick right back up, right? It works for some people. It's not the best technique. But guys, this has been the nose up, why you shouldn't be throwing nose up, how to fix it. I would suggest going to the T-pad, doing those standstill shots, fixing this technique before you cement it into your technique, and then you have to fix it later on. But leave a comment, click that notification bell if you want future notifications of these videos. Also, please like and subscribe. It helps me know that you guys like the material that I'm putting out. And as always, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys, and keep playing.